Hi, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching Tesla Time News.
Episode 104 on Now You Know. Alright, so you may have noticed that Zach is not with me. He is actually on vacation. He's doing a cross-country road trip in Sparky. I know, go figure, except instead of going with his son, he's going with his dad. So that's fun. But we've got Jeff here with us, so thank you to Jeff. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so Vespa. I think you've heard of Vespa before. You've seen Vespas.
Yes.
Yeah. They're going to make an electric version.
It goes on sale in Europe this October. And I think Europe would appreciate this because Europe needs a lot more vehicles to extend the electric world out there.
Yeah. I have not ridden on a Vespa before, but I've seen people riding Vespas. It looks fun, but they're very loud. They're very smelly. And I think that having an electric version that is not vibrating the whole time is going to be much more enjoyable.
But it looks like it's a 62-mile range, which is fantastic for what you're looking for in a scooter.
Yep. Okay, so Jeff, have you ever been driving down the highway and someone just changes lanes, just, out of the blue, no blinker, nothing? It's annoying, right?
Absolutely. I don't see the blinker. I don't know they're pulling in my lane.
Right.
It's kind of scary.
Tesla is working on it. They have just filed a patent that basically makes an autonomous blinker.
Autonomous blinker. So you're talking that you don't have to do anything with the blinker yourself.
Right. So you don't have to put on the blinker. Basically, here's a flowchart. And what the flowchart says is, using the camera data, is the vehicle about to cross over a lane line? If yes, then it takes the steering data and it says, is the driver applying a steering action? If yes, then it uses the camera, radar, and ultrasonic sensor data to say, is another vehicle in the vicinity that would benefit? If yes, it would activate the turn signal. I mean, I think that BMW would be the biggest benefit from this because, as we know, BMWs... their blinkers rarely get turned on. You got to feel bad for the guy at the factory who's installing those blinkers for the...
A lot of wasted time.
A lot of wasted time. This is a huge boost to safety because sometimes you might be a jerk and maybe there's some setting where you can disable it. But sometimes you forget to put on your blinker, right?
Sure.
And so you make a turn and no one knows what you're doing. If the car could say, hey, you're making a turn, I'll put on the blinker for you. How awesome is that?
One less thing you have to worry about.
Yeah. And I mean, eventually, of course, the cars will all drive themselves. But in the meantime, we could save, what do you think, a couple lives?
Sure.
Worth it.
If you're a young driver and you're not used to using the blinker and it automatically is going to blink for you, for that person that's not seeing you, be helpful.
Yep. All right. So this story, we're both pretty excited to talk about. This is from an interview with Top Gear. Top Gear was talking to Koenigegg. Basically, they sell the fastest cars in the world. And I think that this interview was really telling. So Koenigegg, the guy, said, we kind of had our future mapped out. Then we heard about the new Tesla Roadster and its insane acceleration numbers. And we thought, damn, that's going to put the gauntlet down. We thought, this is not okay. We wondered whether it was possible. And yeah, it's possible. Then we thought, okay, how do we deal with it? This is embarrassing. In 2 days, we thought of a few things. The simplest way of putting it is like this. It's combining direct drive with the hybridization we have in a different format with free valve engine technology in a peculiar layout. This is huge because this is the guy who makes the fastest cars in the world, sells them for millions of dollars, and he's saying basically the Tesla Roadster has made him have to...
The new Tesla
Roadster, the next generation Roadster, which goes 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, will have a top speed of 250 miles an hour. I mean, it's, as Elon has put it, a hardcore smackdown to the internal combustion engine. Now, Koenigseggs are not pure gas engine cars already. They're already hybrids. My reaction to this is, and he talks a bit more in this interview about some things that they can do with the gas engine to get some more horsepower out of it. Does it make sense? Like, when are they going to have to stop using a gas engine? Are they just going to have to get a bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger engine at some point?
It just doesn't make any sense. Why he's seen how electric vehicles perform, but yet he's still staying with the engines, and I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense to me. He's getting his butt kicked with this car that hasn't even come out yet,
right?
And still has not flipped the switch and said, maybe that's the way to go.
So we know that the Roadster is beatable with another electric car, namely the Rimac Concept 2, which apparently can go 0 to 60 in 1.85 seconds or something in that range. So it's clearly it's beatable, but not with a gas engine. I just think that's interesting that, we're not crazy. The guy who makes the fastest cars in the world is having to reconsider because of what Tesla's doing.
And this is publicly, he admits this. So Can you imagine what the other companies are thinking behind closed doors?
Right. Now, I'm in the market for a Model 3. Right. I've been on the reservation list since day one. I've been looking at my options. I think that I'm going to go for the base Model 3 because I'm not just rolling in money. So I haven't been looking at getting the performance Model 3, the top of the line, $78,000 version of the Model 3. Now, apparently, when you buy a performance Model 3, there is an optional $5,000 performance upgrade. It's pretty clear on the website what it gives you, but one thing that it didn't talk about was track mode. So a lot of people, I think, bought that Model 3 expecting to have track mode and then didn't have track mode. So Everyday Astronaut, who is a Tesla YouTuber, also talks a lot about SpaceX and space stuff, he tweeted to Tesla and he said, "Well, consider me disappointed. I had no idea. We chose the non-performance upgrade so we didn't sacrifice range, and so we had a bit of a sleeper. Didn't know it wouldn't have track mode." Tesla got back to me and said, "We're working on an aftermarket performance upgrade package when track mode becomes available." So what this means is if you bought a performance Model 3, but you didn't get the $5,000 performance upgrade, let's just talk about what's in that. Basically, we're talking about the 20-inch performance wheels, performance brakes, carbon fiber spoiler, lowered suspension, aluminum alloy pedals, increased top speed from 145 to 155. All of those things are part of the performance upgrade. I think that some of them are important. So like the suspension. I think that you can't just enable track mode because track mode was made for a very specific car. So I think that's why Tesla can't roll out track mode just in an over-the-air update. All right, so last week we were talking about how Tesla was suing Ontario over basically excluding them from the ramp down of their EV incentive program. The new government came in, said, "We're getting rid of this program. Don't worry, everyone. All the dealerships will still be able to give the $14,000 Canadian EV incentive to all of their customers." And so people buying Teslas were like, "Okay, cool. Can I have my incentive?" And the government said, "No, you didn't buy that from a dealer." And they said, "Well, wait, what the hell? Not cool, dude." I suppose they said, "Not cool, eh?" Tesla sued Ontario for being excluded from this program because it seemed like they were singled out, and they won.
Yay! Tesla.
The courts mandated that they come up with a new timeline for tapering off these sales, and they said eligible vehicles were on dealer lots in Ontario or on order by dealers or by customers directly from the manufacturer on or before July 11th and delivered to customers registered and plated on or before September 10th, which is coming up very soon. These vehicles must be on the ministry-approved order list from the dealers and manufacturers. So basically what that means is, it's a lot of legal jargon, but basically if you ordered your Tesla before July 11th and you have it delivered before September 10th, then you're all good. You get the incentive. That's great. But there were a lot of Tesla potential buyers who got scared away, canceled their orders because they thought they weren't going to get the incentive. Turns out now that if they hadn't canceled, they would have gotten the incentive. Tesla responded to the decision. They said, "We're happy that the ministry did the right thing by delivering on its promise to ensure all affected EV owners receive their incentives during the wind-down period. For customers who canceled their orders as a result of the government's initial decision and now wish to renew, we hope the government will work with us to achieve a fair resolution." All right, so Volvo makes mining trucks. They have a whole division that makes trucks that work in mines and quarries and stuff like that, right? You've seen them your whole life. They're big, giant trucks. Well, Volvo is now deploying several new mining trucks that are going to be electric. So these are prototypes of the world's first emission-free quarry test. They made a couple prototypes of the HX2 autonomous battery electric load carriers. And now, before we go too far, Jeff, I need your help. I need you to tell me what the scale of this thing is. Is it like the size of a car? Is it the size of a big truck? Is it the size of a Tonka truck? Is it a toy truck?
It looks like something you play in the sandbox with.
It looks, and I know that's because there's no scratches on it. There's no way, like there's no frame of reference. If there was a little kid, would he be like as small as the tire, or would we just be seeing his shoe? All right, so we have a quote here from Melker Jenberg, who is the president of Volvo CE. And so he talked about these products that they've unveiled this week. We have had to completely rethink the way we work and how we look upon machinery efficiency, pushing the boundaries of our competence. The total site solution we developed together with our customer Skanska is not a commercial solution for sale today, and we will evaluate the outcome of the tests, but we have learned so much already, elements of which will be fed into our future product development. So their goal is to reduce carbon emissions by up to 95% and up to 25% lower cost of operations. All right, so this is what I think is the most exciting news this week. Dyson, not the chicken company.
Because I'm hungry.
Aren't you vegan now?
Yeah.
The vacuum manufacturer, Dyson, they're buying an airfield, not to test the world's biggest hairdryer, but
that would be cool
to test electric vehicles. Dyson, they're a very, at least brand innovative company. Their brand is very innovative. We're not going to do it the regular way. We're going to do it the better way, and then we're going to charge you through the nose to get, And
they're a well-established brand. People know them.
So Dyson has already renovated 2 hangars built in 1938 at a 517-acre site. That redevelopment has cost £84 million, and the next phase of the airfield's development would take their total investment to £200 million. Pretty big investment, not huge. They're not building a factory or anything, but they are at least working on or building a facility to work and test electric cars. Jim Rowan, the chief executive of Dyson, commented, "We are now firmly focused on the next stage of our automotive project, strengthening our credentials as a global research and development organization."
I think this is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard anything about their vehicles, about what they're going to do. But just knowing the innovation with their vacuum cleaners,
right,
I think it's going to be excellent.
So we talk about Autopilot a lot. A lot of people think that it's going to be the end of the world, that, if you start driving with Autopilot, that you're going to die. Well, that is not the case for this guy. This is YouTuber Tesla Canuck. I encourage you to check out his channel, but watch what happened when he was driving on the highway with Autopilot engaged. First of all, what the heck was that guy doing?
Yeah,
I've seen this on the road.
On.
Yeah, didn't have his blink. Could have really benefited from the autonomous blinker. Yes. Probably could have benefited from not being on the road. The guy did not swerve. That was the car. And he talks about it in his video. He says that basically the car swerved out of the way, reacting before he could. So this is that guardian angel mode that Tesla's talking about. Basically, the car is ready to take over and save you from an accident at any point.
And there's other videos out there that are saving people from an accident.
Right.
That we don't talk about. The media talks about the ones where there's an accident, where there's a car fire or something like that. But there's a lot of videos out there that would save people from accidents. Now let's compare this video to another video we're going to show later, and which video has people seen more often.
I see. You were talking about this video.
Yes.
This is I guess it's a feature of the Tesla that you may not have known about.
Launch mode.
Yeah, launch mode. Absolutely. This is a flying Tesla. Someone was having a bit of fun, I guess, and got some pretty serious air off of a railroad track. I'm kind of glad. I'm also kind of not glad that this was caught on film. It's a bad idea. Don't do this. Don't try this at home. They lived, which is
serious accident.
Again, yeah, wow, that is a good point. Something that probably is not going to get brought up. Everyone's going to say Teslas are so dangerous, and I would say any car is dangerous if you're going to drive it like that, because he could have been driving anything. Could have been driving you can get a Corolla up to that speed. All right, moving on to something a little bit less insane. We talked a few weeks ago about how it's hard to steal a Tesla and how few have actually been stolen. Only 18 Teslas have been stolen in the US. Apparently, it's not good enough for Tesla. They are rolling out a bunch of optional security features to prevent potential theft. For the Model 3, they're going to roll out a pin to drive feature. So basically, you get in the car using either your phone or the kind of credit card thing. You get in. Instead of being able to drive away, you have to enter a PIN. So like a little password to actually drive your car. Stealing a Tesla is now way harder. It's not like you hop in the car. It's not like Grand Theft Auto where you hop in the car and you pull something and and the car starts up and you drive away. I think that would be really funny if in GTA you get in a Tesla and you just can't drive it. You just
keep trying PIN codes and it won't work.
No matter where you are on the driving around, they can always find you. The second thing that they're doing is they're adding better encryption to their key fobs. So if you bought a Tesla Model S specifically, before June 2018, your fob is not as secure as newer fobs. Basically, they've added more encryption so that way they can't do what's called a relay attack. If you bought your Tesla Model S before June 2018, you can contact Tesla's service department and upgrade your key fob. So if you want to be a bit more secure, you can get a new key fob. Get one maybe doesn't have all sorts of scratches all over it. And then that way, you're not going to be as susceptible to relay attacks. Tesla is, with just an over-the-air update, able to increase security. There is no other car manufacturer with an over-the-air update that is going to enable you to increase your security.
You roll off the lot and you either lock or you don't. Sorry.
That's it. Sorry.
Your options are.
So Jeff, before we go any further, I just want to show you this video. I don't want, we're going to blur the cars in this video so you can't tell.
Okay.
We're going to just black out the logo so
I've never seen this video before in my life.
So we're just going to, I just want your opinions on the video itself. Before we talk about the car, before we talk about anything, I just want your opinions on just the video production quality.
Kind of intriguing, kind of like makes you think like what's more? I want to see more.
Right. Do you think it's a major car manufacturer? Do you think that it's a
middle of the line, like maybe a Hyundai or
you think like a Kia or
Kia,
like a newer up and coming one? Okay, what if I told you that was a Ford commercial? That was it's on Ford's website. It's on their YouTube page.
Mm-hmm. I would think that they would do a little more detail of what the vehicles are about and less ominous. What is this going to be like? And
I mean, and I can understand building hype. To me, it seemed bizarrely 80s. Mm-hmm. Like with the music choice and the aesthetics and the lightning.
That. Yeah, I could see that. It looked like two different vehicles, a sports car and like an SUV.
Yeah, so that was a Ford Mustang and a Ford Explorer. So they drive into a building. Mm-hmm. The building gets struck by lightning, and then this electric car baby comes out. Anyway, this is for the Ford Mach 1. No, not that Ford Mach 1. The upcoming electric CUV planned in 2020. I don't know why they chose the Ford Mach 1 as the name of this vehicle. They're going to change it, apparently. Okay. But for now, it's called the Ford Mach 1. So a quote from Ford, they said, "We put that out there to evaluate it. There are pros and cons. We don't want to handicap it, but we got a very strong reaction from people." I don't know what the strong reaction is. I wish that they would be a little bit more specific.
I would probably say style and performance. Mm-hmm. Better performance numbers than their gas vehicos.
Yeah. And again, at this point, it's just hype. They're just trying to build hype. Mm-hmm. A lot of manufacturers just trying to build hype around their vehicles to not great success, I'd be honest. On to the lightning round. Here we go. E-scooters are back in San Francisco and Santa Monica. So basically what had happened is there were a bunch of electric scooter companies that, without asking for permission, without getting permits, just started dumping these scooters on the streets. Zach and I were actually there when it started, a couple of weeks after it began. We took some scooters on a ride and it was really fun. But there were a lot of stories where these scooters would just be piled up, in a location where a lot of people wanted to go to, right? And they'd ride the scooters there and then they'd just dump them. So there's just lawns covered with scooters. There's scooters left on sidewalks. People were tripping over the scooters. They were left in the middle of the road. People got mad. They started defecating on the scooters. They started throwing the scooters into the San Francisco Bay.
What?
It was a nightmare. Mostly because they wanted to beg for forgiveness rather than ask for permission. Gotcha. And that kind of bit them in the butt in a couple of ways. San Francisco and Santa Monica basically put a complete stop to scooters. They said it is illegal to put rental electric scooters on our city streets until they came up with an idea of how to like govern it. So they came back. They've permitted a couple of companies. There's some controversy as to which scooter companies got permits and which ones didn't. I think that the important thing is, despite the poor PR of the beginning of the electric scooters, they're allowed back. I think that that's the important thing.
News.
So Zaventem is a town in Belgium, and their police department just got 2 Model S's.
Exciting.
It is exciting. So one of them is an 85D, which they converted into a patrol car, and a Model S 90D that the police department has given to their police chief as an unmarked car. So kind of funny there that the 85D, the less range car, is the patrol car, and the nicer one goes to the police chief. But hey, I'll take it. I think that the Model S is a great police vehicle. Obviously, safety, huge. You're idling for a long time in most police cars. And acceleration.
Performance.
Yeah, performance.
You're going to get the bad
What,
guy.
you're going to get away? No, you're not.
No.
So Porsche, as you know, has been working on the Ionity quick chargers, sort of their answer to the Supercharger concept. And they've basically just copy and pasted the Supercharger network, or the concept of the Supercharger network. They haven't made all the stations yet. But I'm not even complaining about that, because I think that it's a super winning strategy. Right? I think it's a proven technology at this point. So here's some quotes from Michael Kiefer, the director of the high voltage system at Porsche Engineering. Our power range starts at about 150 kilowatts today and extends up to 350 kilowatts. Low charging capacity is really only acceptable for charging at home. These are 2 things that I completely agree with, said by a guy who works for Porsche. So every time people are saying that I'm always so negative on other car manufacturers, let it be known, I agree with this Porsche guy. Absolutely, low charging capacity is really only acceptable for charging at home and maybe work. Everywhere else, you should have quick chargers.
So it sounds like they're planning on making these, and that's definitely going to be helping their sales of their vehicles.
Yes.
And ultimately, when we look into the future, when other companies jump on board, and Tesla's going to be obviously the first one, maybe other vehicles will be able to charge with other companies.
Right. Porsche, obviously owned by VW. VW is going to have to do a lot of work to change their public image,
yes,
as well as mandated law things because they did crimes. So if they make the switch to EVs, if they can make it through, I think that there's no reason why other Volkswagen vehicles shouldn't be able to charge there. Another quote from him: "Someone who wants to drive from Munich to Hamburg in an electric vehicle today needs multiple cards with which they have to authenticate themselves at the charging stations. Porsche eliminates this authentication rigmarole for customers by establishing contracts with all of the charging station operators, so the customer only needs one charging card that is accepted everywhere, and they can also count on a guaranteed electricity price that applies throughout the entire country. Customers of the Porsche charging service ultimately receive just one transparent bill from Porsche."
So they need a card to be able to charge?
First of all, this is where I'm going to have to disagree. People who own an electric vehicle who want to drive from Munich to Hamburg, not all of them are going to have to deal with a bunch of rigmarole, to use his words. The Tesla owners,
drivers,
they don't have to have any cards.
No,
they just pull in, plug it, and that's it. The thing that bugs me is to just say Tesla had a really good idea and we're copying it. Like, here's a known thing that's definitely going to work. We're going to put our own thing on it. Like, we're going to put our own spin on it. I don't know. All right, so this has got to be the cutest EV that I have seen. This is the K22 by Candy. Candy spelled with a K and an I. This is a Chinese EV manufacturer. Now, beside the car having lips, what makes this car special? Well, it's going to be sold in Texas. So in order to facilitate its entry, Candy acquired an ATV dealership and distributor, Sportsman Country, in Texas earlier this year. Last week, they unveiled 2 electric vehicles in partnership with Sportsman Country, the EX8, an all-electric SUV, which looks stunningly similar to the Honda CR-V, and the K22, which is a subcompact electric car. The EX8 has a 188-mile range, and the K22 has an 83-mile range. I think those are both good ideas, good options. Maybe not everyone in Texas is going to be receptive to a car with lips, but whatever. The biggest thing about these cars is that they're going to be a lot cheaper than most EVs on the market today. All right, moving on now to our video contributor stories. This one is from Josh. It is about home energy monitoring.
Hey, Zach and Jesse. This is Josh with a video contributor product review on home energy monitoring. If you want to monitor your energy, let's see what your solar panels are producing or how much you're consuming in your house, you need to install a home energy monitor. You do that by clipping CTs over the main voltage legs of your main panel, solar inputs, and/or to your EV. Two solutions that are on the market that I'm going to talk to you about are the Neurio Energy Home Monitor, which comes with a mobile app to allow you to estimate how much you're saving in your billing cycle, gauge how much is always on in your house, see how you're faring for the rest of your bill, and also allows you to view your current generation and consumption in kilowatt hours as well as watts. Another solution from the open energy monitoring community is the IotaWatt. IotaWatt allows you to monitor up to 14 power nodes and allows you to fully own the data set that it monitors. You can use that data in conjunction with their EMON CMS, which operates on a Raspberry Pi. This data can be viewed to see how much your solar is generating as well as how much you're consuming in the house. At the end of the day, you need to pick the solution that's right for you. I find that the IotaWatt EMON CMS provides the ability to interconnect into home automation systems and allows you to model your data and to predict how much your solar is producing. The Neurio, on the other hand, is a consumer-friendly, simpler view with an easier out-of-the-box experience. There's some other solutions on the market as well, including Sense. Thank you for your time. Now you know.
Wow. I mean, I did not know that such solutions existed. All right, it's time now for the Patreon bonus stories. If you want to check those out, you can head over to patreon.com. Support us for as little as $1 a month, and you get Patreon bonus stories every week. We're going to head over and do that right now, and we'll be right back.
It's a Patreon bonus stories.
All right, we're back from our Patreon bonus stories. We have some Patreon shout-outs to do, and Jeff, you have a very special shout-out to do.
Yes, my wife Deb, I love you, and my son Benjamin, who watches this show sometimes, and has been actually on episodes from time to time on the show. And we got the apron for the Bobby and Brent.
Oh, nice.
So he does some cooking with that. And my buddy Chris in Billerica, enjoy your Model 3, buddy.
Nice. All right. So, want to give a special thank you to John Dickinson,
Elizabeth Killick,
Jeff Criley,
Thomas McNeely,
Teely165,
Ricardo Gomez,
Ashish Awargad,
Giuseppe Korvitz.
Thank you so much for supporting the show. We really appreciate it, and we couldn't do this show without you. All right, it's time for Elon's Tweet of the Week. This one is actually from SpaceX, but still counts. This is a cool video of the Dragon capsule leaving the ISS. They're just looking out of a tiny porthole of the door where the two doors would normally meet, and you'd move all the stuff in. I don't know, it's cool to see the Earth flying below you as you're leaving the space station.
It's a wild view.
Really neat. I don't know if you know this, but there's a tiny hole on the International Space Station. It got hit with a micro meteorite. Micro asteroid. I don't know what it's called. There's a 2-millimeter hole in the International Space Station. It's time now for Community Mail Time.
Community mail time.
So this is our friend Ryan showing us the Blue Indy electric rental. Take it away, Ryan.
Hey, Zach and Jesse. It's Ryan in Indiana. I found this car. It's called Blue Indy. It's a vehicle that you can actually subscribe to for a day, a week, a month, or even a year. You don't have to have insurance, and you don't have to worry about parking fees because you can park at their charging stations. Doing some research, there is 200 charging stations throughout Indianapolis, and it has a 65-mile top speed and 150-mile range. Pretty cool if you come to the city and you want something electric rather than an ICE vehicle. Back to you, Zach and Jesse.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was
Pretty impressive.
Interesting. Up next, our friend Joy wanted our New England viewers to know about these Drive Green and extended dealer discounts that people can get on EVs like the Bolt, i3, Honda Clarity, Mitsubishi Outlander, Nissan Leaf, and more, both for purchase and lease. Worth checking out, so check out this link down below for some information on that. And this last one is from Ross. Hey, Zach and Jesse. When do you think Tesla is going to build an EV version of Autopia for Disneyland? I went on that ride with my 8-year-old son, and the fumes from those little car exhausts were so bad I had to hold my breath whenever the breeze was going the wrong direction. It was awful. And then the steering wheel wrenched his hands so hard it made him cry. A version of Autopilot for those cars would free them up and create a new amazing ride. So how long do you think it'll be until Tesla builds that one? Ross, that's a good question. So I had to do a little Googling because I had never been to Disneyland, but I've been on a very similar experience to Autopia before. Like, basically, it's an underpowered car.
Like a Model T kind of thing?
Yeah, like on a track. There's like a metal thing in the middle, which forces you to stay on to the track, right? Mm-hmm. It's like a 6 horsepower motor. The fumes are terrible. Like, it's like a bunch of like lawnmowers all running at the same time. Yeah, it's disgusting. Obviously, electric would be better. It's time for our Patreon viewer comments. So as you know, Zach is on a Tesla road trip. And so we asked, what is your dream road trip? And Marcus got back to us. He says, I think going from the northern tip of Sweden down through Denmark over to Germany and Austria, down along Italy's east coast and up the west coast, coming to Switzerland, going along the French south coast and Spanish coast down to Portugal, and then take the north coast home up to Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg.
So basically drives in Europe.
Drive the whole thing of Europe.
Just Europe.
Absolutely. That's a dream Tesla road trip. One that Zach and I are going to be doing in the Tesla Roadster.
Oh, so exciting.
So I don't know how fast we can do it, going 250 plus miles an hour. So if you're thinking of buying a performance Model 3, Model S, or Model X, quickly buy one. Use our referral code down below. You'll get free supercharging for life, and we will come visit you in the Tesla Roadster if you live in Europe or the United States or Southern Canada. All right, it's time now for Supercharger reviews. This is every week where people around the world go to Supercharger locations or destination charger locations, give a review. What you think?
Hey, Zach and Jesse, this is Alex Yeager. I'm here at the Dallas, Texas North Central Expressway Urban Charger. It's pretty great. It's right off the freeway, which is why I'm in the car recording this, because it's very loud outside. But there's plenty of, there's a couple of restaurants right here. There's a coffee shop right there. There is a Treehouse smart home store, which is great. It's right behind the Supercharger, as well as an RH barbecue and a few other items in the shopping center. And Treehouse has tons of stuff, including power walls in the store. It's one of the only places that sells it besides Tesla. And they also have restrooms there if you need to use them, as well as the coffee shop here. And this urban charger is really fast. I actually had to run back to my car because it finished before I was done shopping. So anyway, keep up the good work, and I'll see you later. Bye.
It's located on a Irving Big Stop, which houses a restaurant and convenience store just over there. And as part of the site as well, it's close to Fort Beausejour National Historic Site here in Canada, as well as a couple more charging stations for CCS charging stations across the way. A little dog park right next to the Tesla stations for any travelers to have the fun little dogs. And just beyond that is the Tourist Information Center. So I'd probably rate this, maybe it's 8 out of 10. It's a pretty good site with good food at the Big Stop. And talk to you later.
It's a beautiful day here at the Altamont Springs charging station. And this charging station has 8 superchargers. And nearby there's a Whole Foods, Altamont Mall, lots of other shopping, and lots of other restaurants. This is a very good location. And what do I have here? a Ford Focus parked in 1B Supercharger station. I would rank this supercharging station about a 9. Lots of shopping, lots of restaurants, and not very busy. Thanks a lot. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
So here we are at the Owen Sound Supercharger. It's 8 stall. We're the only car here. We've got our thunderstorm going in the background. It's not much going on. We've got Walmart, Home Depot, PetSmart,
Dollarama.
Dollarama,
It's good
some other
for
things.
all your cottage needs.
There's some restaurants over on that side, so there are places to eat, but it's kind of outside the main part of Owen Sound, which is a small town anyway. So, all right, it's Owen Sound.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Jeff, you've done a couple of these, right?
I have.
Any tips for these guys?
Yeah, apparently when you hold your phone, you don't want to hold it up like this. You want to put it over in landscape mode.
Landscape mode.
Because some people have been commenting on when I did that.
You can't hold it like this.
Hold it like that.
You gotta hold it like that.
It's
All right.
hold it like that.
Well,
that's a tip.
Good tips.
Yep.
Time to talk about some new superchargers going up in the world. The first one is an 8-stall in Shanghai at the Ruhong Tandi, China.
And then we have a 12-stall Chengdu Rahakenshikheng.
No.
Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Renhexenchen.
Oh, of course. Shopping center in China.
The 8-stall in Jacksonville, Florida.
10-stall in San Ramon, California.
And the 10-stall in Alcácer do Sal, Portugal.
Ooh, that accent. And then there's a 10-stall in Islandia, New York.
And a 5-stall at the Peachtree Road in Atlanta, Georgia.
And the number 564 stall in USA, 12-stall in San Jose, California.
San Jose. That is going to be a busy supercharger. All right. BFREE has been doing awesome. We're up to about 44 businesses now that are offering free or highly discounted services for Elon employees. This one I thought was so cool because it would actually work with the road trip, the dream road trip that Marcus talked about. This comes to us from Jeremy Riviera Rentals. Mention BFREE when requesting a booking to receive 15% off the booking price. Elon employees only. Now, this is on the French Riviera. It's close to all commodities and a few minutes away from the beach. We provide linens, towels, and a parking spot. It's the ideal place to relax and enjoy the city. Wow, I wish I worked for Elon so I could benefit from this. And if you work for Elon and you're planning a trip to the French Riviera, you can save 15% when you book with Jeremy Riviera Rentals. All right, so every week we like to mention a past video. This one we are talking about Jeff is in it. He is squeezing into the Model 3. Does he fit? Does he not fit? Jeff, you're a tall guy. How tall are you?
I'm 6'7".
6'7". Can you fit in the Model 3? Let's see. You'll have to go watch the video, actually. We're not going to show it to you here. Sorry. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Now You Know. We really hope that you enjoyed it. We couldn't do this show without all of our Patreons that you're seeing floating all around us. These are people who donated $5 or more a month. So make sure that you head over to patreon.com and support us. You get the Patreon bonus stories. You get polls. You get posts. So you're able to write comments that we get to see directly. It's not just YouTube comments that we don't read. Perks, you can get cool hats, you can get cool shirts. Can't get that hat yet.
No.
We're working on it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to use our Amazon affiliate link if you want to send us a few dollars and cents our way, and not actually lose any of that money. Just buy Amazon stuff, get the Amazon stuff. We make a little bit of money. You help support the show. So anyway, thank you so much for watching.
And I want to send a thank you out to Zach, who's not here, and you, Jesse, for all the episodes you've done. On behalf of all our viewers, I think they appreciate and enjoyed all the videos you guys have made through the years. They are smarter and they're a much better life because of all the information and videos you guys have shot over the years.
Awesome.
So keep up the great work and thank you.
Thanks,
and
Jeff.
I'm a Patreon myself, by the way.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Now you know.